Hey guys, this is Cody with Country Strength and Conditioning, and today what I want to do is review the program Starting Strength, otherwise known as the Starting Strength Novice Program. And what I want to clear up now is that Starting Strength is not Strong Lifts 5x5. Strong Lift 5x5 is a totally different program. It uses different exercises, different sets and reps, and they're not the same thing. Starting strength is based around 3 sets of 5 for most of the lifts. Starting strength is also based around the compound movements with the barbell, the squat, the deadlift, the press, and the bench press, the power clean, and as an assistance exercise, the chin up. And I wanted to do this review because I haven't seen anybody or hardly anybody make a fair review of the program. I've seen a lot of people mischaracterize the program and review that, and I don't think that's doing the strength and fitness industry justice, nor is it doing anybody justice that wants to get into strength training. So I'll start this review by giving you my results by doing the program. And I'll tell you what I was doing leading up to the program before I actually got into strength training to begin with. So I started out like a lot of people doing Athlete X. And as you can imagine, I didn't really get any results from it. Before that, I used to be a collegiate athlete. I played college football, and we had a strength and conditioning program, but it was pretty trash. And I'll just briefly describe it here that we would essentially do a bunch of running outside and then we'd go lift some weights. And it was a terrible program, hardly anybody got stronger. So I just wanted to give you that background so that when I give you these numbers, you have realistic expectations. Even though that program was trash, I did start out with a little bit of a strength base that most people probably don't have going into the program. That being said, I think most people will benefit from doing the program, especially if you have never strength trained before. Alright, so my first workout in starting strength, on the squat, I had a 275 for 3 sets of 5. On the deadlift, I had 295 for 1 set of 5. The bench press was 225 for 3 sets of 5. And the press was 95 pounds for 3 sets of 5. And my body weight was about 230 pounds. And my height is 6'4". So 230 might sound a little heavy, but also remember I'm very tall. So if you look at the BMI, it's not too abnormal. Now, my novice program only lasted about 6 weeks because I had a little bit of a strength base to begin with. Other guys that start out weaker, and most guys that are untrained typically start around 95 to 110 pounds on a squat, their novice phase will last a lot longer than mine did. But in those 6 weeks, I packed on a lot of strength and size. My squat, so I started at 275 for 3x5, and I ended at 355 for 3x5. On the deadlift, I started at 295 for 1x5. And I ended at 385 for 1 set of 5. The press went from 90 to 135 for 3x5. The bench went from 225 for 3 sets of 5 to 265 for 3 sets of 5. The power clean, which is the lift introduced later into the program, after you've done the deadlift for a few weeks and gotten a good strength base built from that, on the power clean, I started around 145 pounds, and at the end of my novice program, I was around 200 pounds on the power cleans. Now, I should note that on the power cleans, that wasn't where I ended my novice progression on the power cleans, but when my program stopped being a novice program and started being a more intermediate style program, that's where my power clean ended, even though it was still progressing linearly. My chin-ups, they went from about a set of 8 or 9 to where I could do a set of 13. And that doesn't sound like a major improvement, but my body weight was increasing. So my body weight went from 230 to 245, so 15 pounds. So I put on 15 pounds, my chin-ups increased a little bit. So if you gain body weight and your chin-ups even just stay the same, you all are getting stronger. Now, and I mentioned the power cleans, and I wanted to hit on this. A lot of versions of the Starting Strength program you'll see outside of the Starting Strength website will have barbell rows instead of power cleans. And if you see that, that's not Starting Strength. Barbell rows are not in the novice program for Starting Strength. That's reserved for intermediate lifters. If you want to actually look at what the program is, I highly recommend you go online to startingstrength.com and look at the program called the Starting Strength program or the novice program. It's 3 sets of 5, not 5 sets of 5. 5 sets of 5 is for intermediate trainees. Now, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but life got in the way, and I wanted to encourage a lot more people to do the program. Starting Strength is unique from many other strength programs because it gives you a simple program to follow, a simple guideline to follow. It's all laid out for you, and it gives you a model for how to do all of the lifts in the program. And that's what I don't see from a lot of other strength programs. Even doing college strength and conditioning, the coaches there had no idea how to coach the lifts. So just from me using an online coach, which you don't have to use an online coach. Let me be clear, you can go a long ways by just filming yourself at the right angles doing the lifts and critiquing yourself, or going to online forums, posting your videos and trying to get credentialed people to critique your list from there. They even have Facebook groups with Starting Strength coaches. Starting Strength has a Facebook page, and a lot of coaches will critique your form for free. I wanted to be real serious about it, and I hired an online coach, and it was very helpful. Probably one of the best things I've done. But that model of how to do the lifts, the squat, the deadlift, the bench, the press, the power clean, even chin-ups, that's not in a lot of other programs, and what happens is you end up lacking some kind of consistency. And I think that's key for beginners, is that you need a consistent model to follow in order to progress. Now later on, you can use different types of exercises. You can use squat variations, Paul squats, high bar squats, front squats, whatever. But at first you need a basic set of exercises, you need a model to follow, and you need consistent cues on how to do those lifts. And Starting Strength provides all that. And you can get a very long way by doing those lifts for free. You can make a lot of progress for free. You don't have to even buy the books. I think buying the 2 books by Mark Reperto would be a very good thing to do. Starting Strength Basic Barbell Training 3rd edition, also known as the Blue Book, and Practical Programming for Strength Training 3rd edition, which is known as the Gray Book. I think reading those 2 books would be a very good thing to do to expand your knowledge on strength training. Now, you don't have to do that. What they actually have, if you go on YouTube, they have a whole playlist on how to do all the lifts, and they have all the cues. So just by watching the videos, and then by going online, looking at their program, and learning how to make your training log, you can go pretty far. You can go pretty far and not buy a book, and not buy coaching, and not buying any supplements. So overall, I think it's a really good program. And I'm not saying it's the only strength program for beginners, but for me, I noticed I was spinning my wheels a lot doing athlete and just kind of doing stuff in the weight room, and I never really made any progress in the college strength and conditioning program while I was playing football. And this was really the first program I've done where I was able to put 405 on my back and squat it. And being that I'm a long-legged athlete, that's a big deal for me. Now, for some people, 405 is nothing, especially if you weigh what I weigh. But for me, 405 is a big deal. 405 is like, winning the Olympics. I've never done it, never in my life. And I used to weigh 300 pounds in college, and I could never squat. I could never even think about touching 405. But that was the first program I did where it enabled me to do so. And I think it works for most people. I coach a few people here in my little humble gym, and these people are not athletes. They're regular Joes that just want to do something to get bigger and stronger and look better. And I take them through Starting Strength. And everyone that's done it, they develop some muscles, they develop some big lats, big traps, big shoulders, big chest, and people notice it. And they feel better. They feel like they can do more in their daily activities. And I think that's generally the results that everyone gets from it. Now, starting strength, it's not everything. I think where a lot of people make a mistake with the program is that they want to do this program forever. And if you're a more advanced trainee, then starting strength is not for you. But I guarantee that the vast majority of people that are going to watch this are probably novices. They're still beginners that really haven't trained in an organized way to really reap those benefits of the novice phase. But again, if you've been a power lifter for several years and you've gotten pretty strong, starting strength it's not for you. It's not everything. But it is a great program for beginners, and I recommend it to anybody that hasn't tried it or hasn't tried any kind of organized strength training. So, my review, if I were to give it something out of 5, I guess I'd probably give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's a very organized program. It gave me a lot of good results. It gave everyone I've trained a lot of great results. It's very simple to follow. It gives you a model for how to do all the lifts, and it's grown to a point where you can get a lot of form feedback and programming feedback free of charge. Again, you can go on Facebook and join the Starting Strength group, or you can go to startingstrength.com and go on the forums, and you can get form checks on there for free. And if you're lucky enough, Mark Ripito himself will probably give you a form check. And many of the coaches on there will give you programming advice for free. I still recommend that you buy the books, or at least go on their website and do some reading, and you'll get a good idea on how to program. So, that's all I got today, guys.